What's up, G's?
How are we doing? I just need to change my settings because my headphones aren't working. Give me a sec.
Yeah, okay, your cameras are so much better than mine.
It's on my laptop. What's yours on?
Mine's on my laptop too, but it must be not as good laptop.
What laptop you got?
I've got a Lenovo. I'm not even sure what it is. It's actually a beast. Like, it's never let me down.
Oh yeah, here we go. Got it.
So what's cracking? What's good?
Fuck, not much, man. It's late as hell here, but
yeah, it's only
good,
time because
man.
if we do it late here, it'd be like 4 a.m. there or something.
Yeah, no, that's sweet, man. It's all good. I was just pumped to get this done. I'm glad he's made time to do this with me.
Yeah, and I've been looking forward to it, eh?
Yeah, we would have done it sooner, but yeah.
I had health things.
Yeah, good, dude. I've just been I actually had a bit of bad news. Oh, not real bad, but I was going to have my first boxing fight the 9th of December, and like I've been training my guts out, and it ended up the fight card got cancelled, which is like super annoying.
How come it got cancelled?
I'm not even 100% sure yet. My coach just told me, and I'm like, fuck. So now he's trying to find another one, but it's probably not going to happen this year. So.
Oh really? That sucks.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you were training to fight, like to actually fight. That's dope.
Yeah, so I didn't plan on doing it. I was just like, when I moved up here, I just started like training like regularly, and then I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty good. I'm enjoying it. And then they sort of suggested it to me, and then I was like, oh yeah. And then like just the last like year, I've just been like training like 3-4 times a week, boxing, plus like doing weights and stuff. So I've just been loving it. I've been getting like fit as, because when I first moved up here, I was like a fat dog. So
yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, how have you been, man?
Yeah, I've
obviously been super busy.
Yeah, it's like coming off now into like the quieter time because it's coming into winter. So it's still like the pub crawl's busy on the weekends, but the boat party finished up last month. So it's like pretty quiet until New Year's. New Year's is busy, then quiet until March, and then March it like ramps up pretty quickly again.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's just coming into summer here, man. It's hot, as you can see. I haven't got no shirt on.
Oh, your camera's not on.
Yes, it is. I can see him.
Oh, I can't see you.
No, I can see him.
Oh, that's weird.
Just flexing, Lewis.
That's weird. Yeah. Oh, I can see you.
What do you think full screen, Marcus?
It is.
Oh, that's
yeah,
weird.
I can see both of you.
Yeah.
I want you to be able to see me, man.
Yeah, no, that's weird.
Are you recording this yet, or?
Yeah, I'm just gonna record the whole thing.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, I know I can't see you, but that's weird.
Well, you want to just look at Dan the whole time?
Do you want to leave the call and join again?
Yeah, you can try. I can just.
Yeah, you leave Marcus and rejoin.
Yeah.
So you're gonna maybe why don't you fight Chris?
Oh yeah, I see you.
Oh, I'm back.
Yeah, good to see you, man.
Why don't I fight Chris?
Yeah, because he looks like he's killing it with his boxing.
Yeah, he's an animal, man. I was just gonna do the amateur fight. That was like a start. Like, he's already a pro. Like, he's had a few pro fights.
Oh wow,
he's a pro. Wow.
Yeah, I need to like work my way into it, you know.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah,
how's the podcast going anyway?
Yeah, so at the moment, I did like a few at the start, but I was flying back and forward to Melbourne, like, because all the people I wanted the people that I was interviewing to pretty much be people like sort of that I know, or like local people that I know, so pretty much people that I grew up with that have started businesses, you know what I mean? And just pretty much asking how they started their business, how it's going now, what they did to like improve it and all that stuff. But because when I moved to Queensland, all the people were in Melbourne, like I was having to fly back and forward, and it was just like it was costing me heaps, and because I was like trying to train like boxing and like doing all this other stuff as well, it was just working out. So I did like the first 6, and then now I've got like a few banked. I've got this one and a few other ones now, but I'm just gonna wait till the new year when I go back down there, and I can just smash like heaps of them out.
Well, what made you want to do a podcast? Because it's like so different to what you've been doing. Like it's
I was shocked and surprised. Like the last person I thought would do it, but like I was watching a few of them during the week, and like they're really good.
Yeah, well, pretty much it's just from me watching podcasts.
What podcast do you normally watch?
Well, at the start, I was literally just listening to just like comedians, and then I was just like sort of just like learning things about life just from listening to their podcasts.
Yeah.
And then I was like, fuck, I've learned so much. I'd be like, and then it just made me think about starting my own. Like I was like, if I've learned so much, surely heaps of other people can learn about it. And then I was thinking, I was like, nobody ever does it for. Everyone's always trying to look for celebrities and stuff like that. But I'm like, even if this doesn't get huge, I'm sure everybody in and around my suburb and like Victoria or Melbourne, whatever, would love to listen to local people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, and just smaller people to see how they started their smaller businesses. You know what I mean? Because obviously people listen to like celebrities or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, how did you get into this?" And it's sort of like unrealistic to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But just start like small businesses like what you guys are doing, which could eventually be something big, or like just say even starting like a construction business or something like that. People just want to know how they done it and how they got into it, and not only that, like just also about like just speaking about like mental health and all that stuff. It's just I feel like people could learn a lot.
Yeah, that's dope. Also, because I reckon like this Tim Ferriss podcast would be a good one for you to listen to because he's like really good at asking questions and getting deep. So like it might help you like with like making your podcasts better.
Yeah, I will for sure. I'm pretty sure I have listened to one of his because that 4-hour working week, that does definitely ring a bell. I remember listening to one of the episodes.
Yeah.
There's just so many out there now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I mean, I've got like I listen to so many, but like there's a lot of shit out there though, but a lot of good ones.
Yeah, most of the ones I listen to are just like entertainment sort of ones. Like they're just.
But yeah, I've learned more than podcasts than I've learned on anything else.
Yeah, 100%.
It's crazy, It's so crazy.
They actually like because obviously our parents, it's just we grew up in a completely different lifestyle. Now people are talking about so many more things. So like, I just feel like I've learned so much about myself like the last like couple of years because just purely from the internet, from other people talking about it. You know what I mean? Like, because sometimes you don't even think about it, and then like you hear someone else talk about it, and you're like, oh yeah, I've been through that, and I'd never thought about it like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy when someone says something and you're like, holy shit, that's like I feel the exact same way, but until you've heard someone else say it like out loud, you didn't even realize.
Yeah, 100%. And not only that, there's like I'll listen to just say I've listened to a podcast and I'll be listening to it for a certain reason, but then half the time I don't even get out of it what I'm actually listening for it to. It'll make me think about something completely different.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So like, just say I was listening to something to try better my podcast, but then they'll say something small about something else, and then that'll ignite something in me. But it is weird. I actually just started this like self-development course as well.
Oh yeah, which one?
It's called Overcome the Chaos.
And
it's just like it's for men only, and it's just for like men to like pretty much find their purpose in life. So,
who's it by?
The dude's called Corey Boutwell. He's actually got a lot of good podcasts as well. If you ever want to listen to him.
Yeah, you want to send me a link to that?
Yeah, I will. But like I'm about 4 weeks in now, and just like the community that they have around the Overcome the Chaos course is like crazy. It's pretty much just everyone's there for the same reason. You know what I mean? So there's so much positivity and so much vulnerability that everyone's just talking so open, like everyone's a random obviously, and everyone talks so openly and vulnerably about everything, and then like people can discuss people's problems and stuff. Like it's crazy, man. And they're not
That's
only
awesome.
that, like,
I just googled Corey, and I thought that name sounded familiar. Like, you won't believe, like a few years ago, he was on the pub crawl in Krakow, and I met him.
oh bullshit.
Yeah, because I was like, that name sounds so familiar, man. Like, I think this was maybe even 4 years ago. I was before his podcast, but yeah, he's like, I can't believe that's crazy. He was such a legend, like, really cool guy. So it doesn't surprise me he's doing something like that.
Yeah, keep going. What you were saying? You said it's supportive and.
Yeah, I was just saying. I think it's pretty only recently over the last couple of years that they've really been doing it. But yeah, like for me, because I was just doing drugs and shit for so long, like I just never thought about my future until I was like 27, 28. And now I feel like I don't regret it, but like I've lost it. I feel like I've wasted a lot of time.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah.
I'm like, imagine if I started thinking about my future when I first started. So like I left school and I became a bricklayer because it was the first job I could get, and now I'm still doing it. And I'm like, and I only stayed at that because I was partying so much and doing all the bad shit. And then now that I've stopped, I feel like I've started like I've been like reincarnated, and I'm like a new person. And
that's good to hear, man.
Yeah, it's amazing.
now I'm like starting a new life, but now I'm like, fuck, I wish I made smarter choices when I was younger, and I wouldn't, not that I don't hate my job, and now like I've made like a business and like I make good money and stuff, but it doesn't make me want to get up in the morning. I want to go do that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now I've created like a pretty good life for myself, and it's hard to take a step back, but that's why I really wanted to do this self-development course, so I could sort of like try help find my purpose in life and sort of find another career, really.
Nice. What have you had any progress on finding what another career could be?
Not necessarily. That's the thing. The thing I went into the course for, I haven't really done much on that. But I've learned so much other shit about myself.
Yeah.
And which has been crazy. And I just think, and there's one thing that this dude said on there, that I was just speaking to some random guy, and he's like, it feels good to have started a journey, like to actually have started something. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's nice. I'm like, nice to know that I've started the self-development thing. I'm like, I finally started like investing in myself and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because all the time I've always just, but these courses aren't cheap. Like it was thousands of dollars, and then you're like, oh, I spend thousands of dollars on stupid shit all the time. Like, how about I spend thousands of dollars on myself for once?
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah. And now, like I've learned so much other stuff. Then I think it'll just all come in time. You know what I mean? But also, because I was trying to get into the fire brigade, but I couldn't get in because criminal record. So, and I've got to, because you have to have 10 years clean record. So I've still got a few years left before I can even apply. So that's why I was like telling Corey that, and he's like, you pretty much just got to get that out of your mind because you can't do that. Well, you can't do it now. He's like, you can't just wait around for 3 or 4 years, do whatever you're doing. You got to like take a step. So that's why I know my podcast isn't necessarily like going to be, I'm not doing it for means of money, but it's just another thing I'm gonna learn from, you know what I mean? And
for sure.
I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And you never know what opportunities that may come from this.
Yeah, it's true. There's always something something can come from it.
Yeah, and there's heaps of I think by the time I finish the course, I will at least have a lot more purpose in my life, what I actually really want to do. Like my life's pretty sweet. Like I'm not sitting here saying my life's shit or anything. Like
I get you. But you can always do better.
Yeah, it's always good to improve.
I live life on my terms. So, but yeah, it would just be nice. Those things in my life that aren't great, or not great, that I'm just not completely happy with. It's good to try to better them. So, and that main thing for me is my career. So, if I can, I can do something. I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah, that's dope. That's good to hear, man. It's good to see you killing it.
Have you guys done any courses like that before?
I mean, I've not done a course like that, but I do a lot of stuff like that. Like I have a diary, which is called the 5-minute diary, where you like write goals out and daily stuff, and I meditate. And I've read a lot of self-help books, which stuff like that. And it's every time I've read a self-help book, I've always like picked up a few things and learned a few things but I've never done a course like that, but I've read books like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like,
because it makes you think about the world in ways like you don't even think about it, because you're just existing, and then you realize like there's actually ways and things that you can do life that actually make it easier and better.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things for me recently is like I never so ungrateful to myself. Like I don't think that anything that I do is like good enough. You know what I mean? Like, and then I sit back and I was like, you know what? If 10 years ago, everything that I wanted 10 years ago, I have now. 10 years ago, I wanted a business, I wanted a house, and I wanted like to just like go on holidays and shit all the time. And I do all those things. I have all those things, but now I'm like, now that I have them, I don't even like appreciate it. I'm just like, what's next? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you've always got to have something to look forward to, but then it's like you've also got to appreciate what you got.
Yeah. So now like I try to like think, and even just like with this side business, I'm like, well, what can I do on the side for extra money? And without me even knowing, like I've like set my house up for Airbnb, and I could potentially be making tens of thousands of dollars in like a couple of months just through that. And I'm like, I sat back and I'm like, oh fuck, I am doing something. I didn't even think I was doing it.
Yeah, nice.
And now I'm a lot more I try like every morning, like instead of like when I first wake up on my phone, I try to just spend like even a minute to even 30 seconds a minute, just like thinking what I'm grateful for.
Yeah, that's what I do in this diary.
Yeah, the main reason for me doing the course though is like I just need that little bit of a kick up the butt. You know what I mean?
For sure.
The community is
the accountability as well.
Yeah, once you put the money down, like you put your heart into it, so it's like you've spent the money, so you're in it.
Yeah, you got to pay to play.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's dope.
Yeah, I've definitely learned a lot, but I'll send you through
Send me the guy's podcast.
Yeah, I'll send you through some of the good ones. I don't know, he's like an avid dude for this is weird. I thought it was real weird. But this dude's like a thing, he's like there's no masturbation. Have you heard of that?
I've heard about that. I thought about trying that, but I was like, I couldn't do it, I couldn't do it.
Really?
No. Have you done that?
I haven't done it, but I've cut down.
Yeah, I am. But
because like a lot of the reasons, like there's a podcast I can even I'll send it to you and you can read it to it, and like some of the shit he says in there, I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. But,
yeah, I'll have a listen.
A lot of the things that he does say like does make sense, and just like about like your dopamine fixes and shit like that, like and not only that, it's supposed to like help your relationship a lot as well, like
Yeah, for sure.
But
sure.
Yeah, there's you should definitely have a listen to some of the podcasts. If you guys have got any good ones, send them through as well.
Yeah, we'll do.
My favorites. Wait, you guys said that you did another podcast, didn't you?
Yeah, I did it. It's another podcast, like a football club we used to sponsor. They used to have a podcast, and they interviewed me.
Football club.
Yeah, we used like a soccer club we used to sponsor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so have you got some sponsors?
Like we used to sponsor them, and then we stopped because it was just a waste of money. Yeah, we sponsored them.
Yeah, it wasn't getting you anywhere.
We just did it because it was a good, like we wanted to support them, but then we're like, nah, let's just keep the money for ourselves because it's really not worth it.
Yeah.
Like it was like a friend's team, and like they're doing pretty well now, but it's like it was quite a lot of money they wanted, and it was like we thought they might be able to get us some sort of exposure because it was like a half expat team, half like local team. So it was like interesting thing, and they were a pretty good team, but it's like it just didn't work out.
Yeah, I've done one of those things before. Like it was actually through the police, and they're like, oh, we have like a newsletter, and like you'll be like the only one on there. And it's like I can't remember how much it was. It was pretty ridiculous. It was like $1,500 or something. And I was just like, whatever. It's 100% tax deductible. I was like, I'll give it a go. And I'd done it, and I didn't get one job from it. And then they call you back. Huh?
What was this for? Was this for advertising for your business?
Yeah, but it was through like it was through the police or some shit. And they're like, well, we have a newsletter that we have every week, and they're like, we'll put you in there. You'll be the only one in there, like the only bricklayer in there. And I'm like, oh yeah, sweet. I was like, I'll just try it. And then I've done it. I paid them the money, and like I was in the newsletter every week or whatever. And I didn't get one job from it, so I was like,
How do you get most of your jobs now?
but when I moved up here, I started using High Pages. I'm not sure if you've heard of that.
It's like Yellow Pages, yeah, but online.
So it's like how it works is you become a member, and then you have to like make a profile and stuff. And
yeah, one of those.
And then there's like there's like two apps. There's the business page, and then there's like the job list page. So then other people put their jobs on there, and then you can pay to do you have to pay like only a small amount, like $10 to $30. So you pay for the lead, and then but that only pays you to do the quote. So even if you pay that, you might not get the job.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, but I've sort of figured it out. So I pretty much get every job that I ever do. Like as long as if you're like pretty much first in and be professional, and then as long as they're happy with your quote, you're going to get it every time. Because if they're happy with the first one, why the fuck would they bother going to the second one?
Oh, that's dope. So do you charge like cheaper price or just like a really good price?
No, I just have a set price. I can usually tell what I can charge just by meeting the person.
He's a sucker.
Yeah, I can tell who's got money and who doesn't have money. But the price has just skyrocketed like lately, which has been really good. So, but other than that, like after that,
so
it's just like
the margins are much better now.
Yeah, so yeah, it's been really good for us. And after that, it's just like word of mouth and repeat customers and stuff like that. And
do you have many guys working for you, or is it just you?
No, I just work by myself up here.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I just like I get I hire out some other companies sometimes to like do work for me, and then I just take a cut as well.
Huh.
Or I'll get LB that lives with me. He's an excavator operator, so if I ever need him to
Wait, is he the guy who used to live down the road from you?
Yeah.
Oh, he moved up as well?
Yeah, he lives up here with me. He's an operator, so if I never need him, I'll just get him in and I'll pay him and then take like a cut as well. And my other housemate is Tyrone. He's a concreter, so I do the same with him as well. So I just like taking cuts off everyone, really.
Yeah, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but I've made it pretty good now that I don't need to like work as like I don't even set my alarm in the morning. Like I just get up when I want, and like I've made it pretty sweet. I've made my job that I don't really like enjoyable as much as I can.
Yeah, doing the best with what you can. That's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I pretty much got a goal now. So like I just want to. I did want to do this fight. That was the thing. I was fully focused on that. I'm still focused on it. I'm still just going to train till that date anyway, just because I was already committed for it. And then after I go to America for 6 weeks, that's when I'm really going to start to try to come up with some new business ideas, or just try to go down some different paths.
Yeah, if you ever want to talk or want some advice or like any ideas or something, I just want to like run some ideas. Just let us know. You know, always happy to help or talk.
Yeah, for sure, bro. To be honest, like you guys would be actually awesome to speak to. I just never even like really think about it because you guys are another end of the world.
But, yeah, man, I love like helping out with people. Like, 'cause I've got friends who do stuff here and always helping out them and with things and giving advice. So like,
yeah, I love bouncing ideas about new projects. It's great.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Well, I do have some ideas that I can speak to you like off the podcast, but as well with the marketing and stuff, like I'd love to like get some tips and stuff off you, because especially when I start doing my podcast like weekly again or fortnightly, I want to like start doing some ads and stuff just to like get it out there a bit more. And as well,
yeah, I can definitely help. I can definitely help with that, especially with your podcast. I think we could do a lot with it. So we'll chat after the podcast about it.
Yeah, I need some it's more so the equipment as well. Like I need you need to invest in like a bit of equipment so you can like get all the different angles and shit. But I do have someone that can like edit all that stuff for me. Busy. You've met him, yeah.
Yeah, he's killing it. He's
doing so well.
He's killing it.
Yeah, he's actually doing really well, dude. Actually, just recently, he was probably after COVID and stuff. I think he was like struggling a bit as well. And then I remember probably a few months ago, he was like, "I'm gonna take this job like mowing lawns and shit." And then I was like, "Dude, do not fucking take that job." I'm like, I'm like, if you really like this, I'm like, put all your eggs in one basket and just go for it, bro. Because like you're gonna get jobs, and then you're not gonna be able to do it because you're mowing lawns and shit. And then literally after he was like, "All right, I'm not gonna take that job," and just like put it all into his business. And then literally like a month later, he's like booked out all the time, and I'm like,
yeah, man. Every time I see him post on Instagram, I'm like, man, this guy's it's good on him though. He's like doing well. Like it's good to see.
Yeah, to build his business up like that from nothing is like it's so cool to see.
Yeah, well, it's been like a long time now. Like he's been doing it for a few years now. But yeah, like he's got like a few like people he works with like constantly, like every week. So
yeah, that's nice.
And yeah, he mainly just does like models and stuff like that. I think that's what he really likes doing.
Yeah, don't blame him.
Yeah, it's who wouldn't like that?
Yeah, dude, he's actually so professional though. Yeah, it's weird. I'd like be fucking like giggling and shit.
Yeah, I couldn't. Some of the photos you post, I'm like, man, I couldn't stay in there and take those photos, eh?
Dude, he's so serious and so professional. Like it's crazy. It's cool to see, but.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, nice.
But yeah, a bit later in the year, man, I'll definitely get into you about like the marketing stuff. I've actually like been looking into it a little bit myself, like listening to podcasts and stuff like that. But I'd love to like.
Yeah, man, I'd love to.
Tips or anything that I can get off you.
Definitely.
But firstly, when we get into this, I want to like pretty much just start from the start. I want to like start from when you guys were living in Frankston and like how you pretty much got to where you were now.
Mm-hmm.
So, firstly, I'd like to know before you started your business, did you always know you wanted to get into some sort of party business?
Yeah, well, I always knew I wanted to like run my own business or do my own thing. But even back in Australia, Dan was running his own like events company when he was younger.
Yeah, so like I'm not sure if you remember, Lewis. We weren't really friends back then, but when I was like 15, 16, I started running events, but it was like heavy metal, hardcore bands, and like I loved it. It was like originally it was just because I wanted to see bands play like in my area, and it kind of took off and did pretty well, and did that for a few years, and then we ended up moving overseas, and I knew like the whole time I wanted to do something again, like start my own business.
Yeah. So what? Honestly, I don't think we were friends then, because I don't remember. No. I remember you being like sort of into the heavy metal and stuff like that, but
yeah,
I don't remember that at all. So what was your experience with sort of like living in Frankston and like your upbringing, just before we get into the other stuff?
Yeah, Frankston's a pretty colourful place. I mean, when I always tell people here that I'm from Australia, and they're like, "Oh, that's amazing." But then you tell them you're from Frankston or you're from Melbourne, they go, "Oof."
They know what it is over there.
Like, or when I speak to like anyone from Australia or anyone who knows about Frankston, you tell them you're from Frankston, you just get this look at your face.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I've only got like good memories, like fun memories, but I don't know, like I probably wasn't the best upbringing, but it was good fun.
Yeah, that's what I pretty much just say. It was fun.
It was fun. Like I definitely, like, looking back, realized it wasn't the best, but I'm happy with where I am now. So I don't know, can't really change the past.
Yeah. What about just growing up as twins? How did you find that? Do you think that was good, or do you think that was challenging at all? Or
yeah, you go, Dan.
Yeah, I think it's the best thing ever. It's like you've got like a best mate with you, like for life, and it's like no matter what, they're always going to be there. Like you can be honest with each other. It's like it's dope.
And it's good because if you want to ask yourself a question, you can just ask your twin because they've had like a similar life experience, so you can get a perspective kind of like from yourself, but a little bit different.
Yeah.
So it's a good way to get a perspective from someone who thinks almost the same as you, but a little bit different. So I reckon, like I always say, like if everyone had a twin, it would be much better.
Yeah, you guys. I've seen you guys have always helped each other out and taken advantage of the looks being the same, like your IDs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's come in handy. I remember like I did Marcus's driving test as well, like because he didn't learn to drive, so I went and did his test.
Allegedly,
Marcus.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate. Allegedly.
Did you get your license in Poland by yourself?
Yeah. You just got to swap your Australian license. You just got to do like a practical test, like online, and then they just swap it over. So I'm good to go.
Do you drive much over there?
Yeah, I just bought a car, but it doesn't arrive till like March or April.
Or is it a brand new one?
Yeah, brand new one. Yeah.
Yeah, I drive quite a fair bit because I actually moved out of Krakow, so I'm in like a little village. It's about 70 k's out of the city, so to get anywhere, I need to drive like an hour and a half.
Yeah. So what started the how did you even get over to Poland? Obviously, I know the story, but
basically we were traveling around Europe, partying it up, going crazy. Then we went to Tomorrowland, went a bit crazy there, spent most of our money. Then after that we were in Greece, realized we had like $70 between us left in our account. So we found the cheapest flight to London, got to London, and basically sort of had to hustle our way into an apartment. We were staying at like a pretty cheap hostel. It was a couple dollars a night, and we started looking for places to live. We found like the shittiest, cheapest place we could find, and we said to the real estate agent guy, "Yep, we'll take it. We'll do everything. Our money's coming over from Australia. Come back tomorrow. We'll pay the deposit tomorrow." He goes, "Yeah, okay." He comes the next day, and I go, "Look, mate, I'm going to be honest with you. I've actually got no money. But yeah, if you kick us out, I'll be homeless. But I promise you, I'll pay you. I'm about to get a job." So he goes like, "Oh, I know we don't do this, but because you're Australian, I trust you. I trust Australians." So he let us live there, and then we found a job as a waiter, and started working and living in London for a bit.
How did you get to the point where you had $70 when you're supposed to be on holiday? And then you were planning on coming home, right?
Well, the plan was to travel and work and like stay there for like a year, but we were just partying and drinking a bit too much without checking our budget.
Yeah, we went pretty crazy. Like we were just like staying in nice hotels and like just shouting everyone drinks and like we were with Dean and Rory at the time, so it was like pretty crazy. So
you'd only just started heavily started partying probably that last year or two, yeah.
Yeah, so it was pretty crazy.
What was your favorite spot on that first holiday? How was Tomorrowland?
Tomorrowland was good. I wouldn't do it again because it was a bit too intense. But I don't know, it was quite a while ago. I'd say probably Paris, my favourite, just because of food.
Yeah, what about yours, Dan?
Yeah, it was like, I don't know, it was so long ago, like 7 years ago almost. For me, I think on that trip, like Switzerland, just because it was so beautiful. Like I love the mountains and going hiking, so like that was one of my favorite spots.
Yeah, do you reckon Tomorrowland's as hyped up as everyone says?
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. It's like so well organized. Like there's no waiting in lines. Everything is nice and clean. Like it's expensive, but it's worth it. It shits on any festival in Australia.
Yeah, it's hyped up for sure, but like it's like you're in another world when you go there. It's like we checked into our hotel in the city, and like all the people, all like the staff in the hotel were wearing like Tomorrowland costumes, and it's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's crazy that there's no lines even for drinks and stuff, do you reckon?
Yeah, like they have it so organized. There's just bars everywhere. And as soon as it started raining, all the bartenders started chucking out ponchos for everyone to wear, like thousands of ponchos just for free.
Yeah. True. Oh no, I could imagine how it would be even more well organized now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what happened after that, after you conned this bloke? Where were you?
So that was in London,
London,
and that was in a place called Lewisham, which is like a bit of a shithole. We lived in like it was a 4-story house, but it was like 15 people in it, and the landlord had like every room he'd like split in half, and then split in half again. So it was one of those sort of immigrant houses where everyone come fresh off the boat was living.
Did you have your own room or not?
Yeah, we had to share a room together.
Just you two?
Just us two, yeah.
No, that's not too bad, I guess.
Wasn't too bad. We had this guy next to us, this 2 Portuguese guys who were basically screamed all day and night, so that was all right. So that was South East London, and then both got a job at like a company that employs Aussies as like waiters and just sends them to different hotels as a like agency. So we're just doing that. And then just every month or every few weeks, just doing different holidays, like traveling different places, going to like Amsterdam or Dublin for the weekend.
Yeah, that some people would say that's living the dream, man, just for a little bit, even though I'm sure he's just struggling hard with the money.
Yeah, that was probably the best time of my life.
It was a struggle financially, but it was so good. Like just looking online for the cheapest flight and just going somewhere that weekend, it was awesome.
So how long were you doing that for?
That was about 2 years.
About a year and a half, yeah, almost 2 years.
2 years. Quite a while.
Damn, do you have any good stories from that time? I'm sure it sounds like some of the best times of your life.
Oh man, I can't off the top of my head. I can't think of anything right now. But it was just mostly, drinking, partying, meeting people, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay. And then from there, how did you end up in Poland?
I came to Krakow once because my family's Polish, so I thought it'd be a good place to go. I had a couple of mates who I met who were here, and then I enjoyed it, so I came back a few times. And then I decided one time that I was like, after I was in London, I was like, okay, I'm going to backpack from Warsaw all the way down to like Turkey. And then I was in Warsaw, which is the capital of Poland, got down to Krakow, stayed here for like a month, and then just stayed permanently. I never kept going.
Was Dan with you?
No, I was just by myself.
I was still living in London. And then once Marcus got to Krakow, he was there for, I think, 3 months. And I'd already been to Krakow maybe like 3 times while I was staying in London, because like each time we went, we had such a good time. And then Marcus, after 3 months, he was like, Dan, you got to come here. It's so good. Like it's a great place to live. And I was sick of London. So I just like packed all my stuff, quit my job, and then moved to Krakow.
Yeah, just drinking, partying, and girls. So I was like, you got to get here, mate.
Yeah, and it was so cheap at the time as well.
So when were you just working, just chilling? You obviously made some friends and stuff in London by then, Dan.
Yeah, because there was quite a lot of Australians in London, so like we all gravitated towards each other. Like the agency we worked for was all Australians, so it was, and they were all people that didn't know each other, so it was really easy to make friends. And everyone was there to like party and travel. So it was good.
Yeah. So now that you're in Poland, what gave you the idea of wanting to start your business up?
Well, Marcus originally was working or volunteering at a hostel, and then he got the opportunity. But I'll let him talk about it more.
Yes, I was like volunteering at a party hostel, and they were sort of running a small pub crawl in their hostel. And then I was talking to the owner, and then we decided to like expand the business and make it available to everyone and create a brand around it. And sort of that took off. And then Dan moved over to Krakow, and then we got talking and then decided to start the boat party because the pub crawl was doing well. So we did the boat party, that took off. And then after the first year of doing that, we decided to expand into Warsaw. So Dan and Justin moved up to Warsaw. We expanded the boat party there, and then that sort of took off. So
yeah, what? So you already sort of teed this up before Dan even moved over?
Yeah, I was already running the pub crawl before Dan moved over.
And once I was there for a couple of months, and like I needed a job, and I didn't want to leave, but I didn't want to get a normal job, and we were kind of looking around at like what opportunities there are, and there was no boat party, like nothing at all, and we'd seen how busy the one in Budapest was, so we thought like why couldn't it work in Krakow? So we pretty much just went down to the river, started like going to all the boats and like speaking to the owners, seeing like what the prices were, what we could do, and like went from there.
Yeah, shit. So what did you actually do to expand the business from this dude? How did he just trust you guys to do this?
So what do you mean? Sorry.
Like you obviously you're running the pub crawl, and then obviously the owner of the hostel?
Yeah, the owner was just. I was working hard there. I was doing a good job there, and he owned a few clubs in Krakow as well. So he was looking for someone to open up a pub crawl with. I said that was something I was interested in, and then we just clicked.
Yeah, shit. That must have been like fuck yeah, this is sick. This is what I want to do now.
Yeah, it was. I always knew we wanted to do it. It was a good opportunity, but I also I was working hard and doing a good job, so he could see that. Because I was always like throwing out ideas and things to improve the hostel and things that could help. So he obviously saw that. And it's a good opportunity I had at the time. It was a little bit of luck, but it was also a little bit of hard work.
Yeah. So what were some of the challenges you had while you were first trying to start that business up?
Not speaking Polish, because
that was hard.
A little bit hard at the start, but not too hard because most people speak English. The start, just getting people like awareness of the business was hard because I didn't really know much about like online marketing or SEO or anything. So wrapping my head around all that was a bit. But once you got the hang of it, it took about like 6 months to the business to sort of really pick up.
Yeah. Okay. So what did you do? What did you do in terms of marketing?
So we did like online marketing as well as in-person marketing. So we had promoters on the street handing out flyers, partnerships with different hotels and hostels, Google ads, Facebook marketing, content writing and outreach.
How did you learn to do all that? Did you like see someone else doing it, or did you
just just YouTube and blog? Back then it was like 6-7 years ago, so it was mostly just reading different blogs and just trial and error.
How good is YouTube, man? You can literally like.
Oh, it's amazing.
Anything.
Yeah, there's a lot of crap out there, but there's a lot of like such good stuff.
Yeah, you literally anything. You want to learn how to please a woman? I'm sure there's something.
You probably got a video out there on that. So I was just like reading lots of like really good blogs, like a lot of mistakes, like a lot of wasted money and errors, but and then Dan actually he now does most of the marketing because that's like his like specialty. He's done a few courses and things, so he mostly does that now.
Yeah, so like a couple of years into the boat party, they changed like the laws in Krakow, so we weren't allowed to promote on the street. So I had to like really focus on the marketing side of our business, and like I spent like a shitload of time studying online, like all the free courses for Google, Facebook, So yeah, like now I do that. I do that for all our businesses, and I've started doing that personally as well. So I'm like freelancing for our friends' businesses as well.
So you both got your roles pretty much sorted, or do you, and now that you've got the second location, do you both sort of do the same job, or does one person do one thing and the other person does another?
At the moment now we have a manager who runs the Krakow boat party. So she runs like all the day-to-day event, does everything. And we have another person who does all the emails, because we have like a lot of our clients are Polish. And then Justin, he does most of Warsaw. So me and Dan mostly just do like big picture stuff, like general running of the business. And we're also like expanding into a new city next year, Wrocław. So we're focusing on that one.
Yeah. Okay. So what was like one of your first boat parties? How did that go? Like, what did it involve? Like one of the first ones.
So the boat we used to use could only hold like 70 people, and it was like an absolute piece of shit. I'm surprised people actually used to come to it. Yeah, it was like.
How did you just rent it off someone?
Yeah, we just went down to the stand. So we just went down to the river, because there's a river that runs through the city. We just went to every single boat, said, "Oh, what's the cost? How much? Can you provide?"
It's the biggest piece of shit.
Yeah, and then we found a boat that looked okay. Found a DJ, and we do like unlimited drinks.
Oh, we didn't even have a DJ to start. We were just like plugging in our phones to the speakers.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Dan and then was the DJ.
Yeah, DJ Spotify in the mix. Yeah, so we did that, and then we were just on the street. We had flyers, and we were just, because there's a lot of tourists in Krakow, like it's pumping on the weekend. So we were just getting up in the morning, walking up and down the main square. Every single tourist we saw, "Hey, what are you doing today? Do you want to buy some tickets? Hey, what are you doing today?" Go into the shop, have a couple cans or a bottle of vodka between us, get it back out there, and start selling tickets. And that was like the year of the boat party, just every day, like on the weekends, just flogging tickets.
Just street hustling.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I couldn't even I'm not the type of person to go up and.
It's hard at the start.
Yeah, it's hard.
That's why you have a little mini bottle of vodka in your back pocket, and you take a little sip every few.
Yeah, every time you get a rejection.
Yeah, that's what it was like.
And by the time the boat party started, we were Dunskies.
Yeah, so we used the first people in Krakow to do this.
Yeah, so there were some clubs who did like once a year, twice a year, like special boat party events, but there was nothing
for tourists.
Nothing for tourists, because we have like, now it's our customer base has changed, but when we started, it was mostly just tourists.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think have been some of the biggest changes that you've made on the boat party since the start to now?
Well, during like COVID, that killed us. But at one point, they opened up again, but it was just Poland was open, so we could go out to the shops and do everything, but no tourists could come into Poland. So it was very hard for us. So we had to sort of change the way we did business and more advertise to locals, and put the website and all our marketing material in Polish. And we had to do a big push to locals. And then we found like that hen parties, like
bachelorette parties,
Panienskis, they love it. So that sort of kept us afloat. And now that's about half of our business.
Yeah, before coronavirus, like we would have maybe 1 or 2 Polish people on the boat, but now it's like at least half the guests on the boat are Polish people. So it's kind of like coronavirus helped us. Like, yeah, it was like it sucked during coronavirus because we were shut down, but now it's kind of given us access to a lot more customers.
Yeah, if that didn't happen, you probably wouldn't have put the extra effort in to try to get the locals in.
No, we wouldn't have at all, because we didn't need it, because our events were selling out. But then because we got so busy now, we just started doing 2 boat parties. So one at 8 p.m. and then one earlier at 5 p.m.
And on a bigger boat, so it holds about 150 people.
Yeah. And then like everybody on there's got unlimited alcohol.
Yeah, 2 hours unlimited alcohol, so it gets pretty wild.
Yeah, it gets crazy.
You must how many people are there serving drinks?
So we got 3 bartenders, but it's like we have like on the boat like 100 drinks.
Non-stop, just feeling.
Yeah, we have 100 drinks ready. So when you come in, people grab a drink, and it's just non-stop, like people grabbing drinks. Yeah, but it's just basic drinks, so like vodka, Coke, just a beer. So nothing fancy, but just they come through.
Yeah.
No cocktails.
Yeah. That's all the cheap shit. That's what most people want anyway.
Yeah, just something to get the buzz.
Yeah. So then what happens after the boat? What's the whole agenda of the night, or like the plan of the night?
So on the
What do
boat,
they get for their money?
on the boat, we've got like 2 decks. The upper deck we have like a DJ. Below deck we've got the bar and like some booths, and we also have like a photo booth, so people can come and get like printouts, and like that's all included.
People
And
love doing that shit when they're drunk.
yeah, they love it.
They love it.
And we've also got a magician, and he walks around like doing tricks for people, and like people go crazy for it, like especially when you're drunk, and he's like pulling like coins out of your ear and stuff like that. Like it's great.
I actually remember that one of the nights that we had when I was there, he had a magician there, and he was actually so good. And I was like, I recorded him because I thought I was going to be able to like catch what he was doing.
Yeah.
And he was just doing card tricks, but I recorded him, and like I watched that video like 20 times, man, and I didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
Yeah, I've seen his tricks so many times, and every time I see it, I'm still like, wow.
Yeah, I remember I was out one night at a club in Krakow, and I saw like all these people standing around someone and clapping. I was like, oh, what's going on? And I went over and I was like, oh, can you do a trick for me? And like he did a trick, and I was like, man, that's dope. Like, what's your number? You're like, we need to get you on the boat party. And that was ever since then he's been working on the boat party for us.
Oh, it's the same guy.
Yeah.
Yes, same guy. If he can't work, he's got some other like magician friends, but pretty much it's the same guy.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so then after the boat, we take we round up the guests, and then we take them to 3 different clubs, like a pub crawl in the old town, and they get a free entry and a free shot.
The whole actually I remember that, and like you guys got to like convoy like 50 people, huh?
It's like 150 people. So we don't do that now, but the staff, they take them like 150 people. But
it's like an army of people. You just like coming to fuck shit up.
Just coming in and just destroying the place and leaving.
Like even if the club's empty, like when you come with 150 people, like within like a minute, it gets crazy.
Oh man, they must love you guys.
Love, hate.
Yeah, well,
the city doesn't like us because it's like 150 people on the riverbank drunk walking into the city, but the clubs love us.
Yeah, I suppose as long as you guys aren't making a mess, really.
Yeah, we're always making sure the guards are cleaning up, making sure there's like no one tricking in public, sort of doing the best we can to make it sure it's safe and appropriate.
So how many people do you have like assisting these 150 people?
So we have 4 guides working on the pub crawl, and then on every shift it's about like 10 to 15 people working.
Oh wow, I think that was a lot more than I remember when.
Because I think it was we had less people back when you were there. It was like 120, and it's a little bit. We've moved to a bigger boat now, so.
Yeah, it's cool. And then so at that same time, I remember it wasn't just the boat party. You had some other stuff going on as well.
Yeah, we also had a walking tour, but we sold that to one of the guides because that didn't pick up the way we wanted it to.
Like it was doing okay, but the main reason we started the walking tour was because we wanted to sell tickets to the boat party and pub crawl to the guests. Because I was doing something similar in London, and like every person that came on the walking tour would usually buy a pub crawl ticket. So we thought, like, why can't we do this in Krakow? But I think it was maybe like a year into the walking tour, like no one was buying tickets for the pub crawl because it was all just like families or older people or just like not the kind of people that would want to go on the pub crawl or boat party.
Yeah, wasn't there like a food thing as well, like a food and wine thing?
Yeah, there was a food and vodka tour that was part of the walking tour business.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that's still running, but the guide, who's our friend Dale, he's running that business now.
Yeah, okay. So you're happy just staying in the party industry?
Yeah, that's where the money's at.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so you're gonna say something?
We also, I think it was like the second year into the boat party, we started a tram party.
Yeah.
And like that did really well. I think we had 2 or 3 events. So it was like the same kind of deal on the boat, but on a tram. But unfortunately, it got outlawed. The city didn't like it very much. Like, 80 or 100 people getting on a tram, getting drunk, and then going through the city. So they like stopped that pretty quick.
How did that work? Did you use like?
We used to rent a tram, like there was one
public
company.
Tram.
Yeah, so we used to rent public trams, but also there was a company who had like a restaurant tram that used to go around. So when the nights that wasn't being used as a restaurant, we used to rent that, and it would be like it was great, and people loved it. But
the problem, hanging out the side of it.
Yeah, people were hanging out the side.
Yeah, exactly. Like
it's not good. So
trying to piss out the windows and shit like that.
So that got outlawed, and then they had to sell the tram to another city. And it wasn't actually because of us. There was another girl who was trying to do.
Sounds like it was because of you guys.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, but yeah, it was a shame because it was really good.
Yeah, and then you guys obviously decided to go to Warsaw. So what happened there? How did that work? And when did you decide to do that?
Well, Dan, do you want to go with that? Because you went up there.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure exactly when it was, but Krakow was doing really well, and we wanted to do something else, and we thought, why not do it in another city? Warsaw's the capital city. So I went up there and like checked out all the boats. There was only really one boat on the river, which was we could do it on. So we did the same thing we did in Krakow, spoke to the owner, like got all his details. He didn't really understand. Like I tried to explain to him the boat party, but he was like, he just didn't get it. And I was like, oh, like you'll see. And then we later that year we did like 2 test events. So we put tickets online, like went to all like the hostels and hotels and like invited all the staff for free to try and like get the hype going. And it like both events sold out, like all, and like did pretty well. So then we decided the next year that we'll do it like properly and do it every weekend.
Yeah. Wait, are you still like both drinking at this stage, like just partying as well as working?
So I don't drink. I probably haven't had a drink in about a year. I don't drink at all.
Yeah, and I drink.
Back then.
Oh, back then it was. Yeah,
back then it was. I'm surprised the boat party even got off. Sometimes I don't even remember working.
Like sometimes I'd call Marcus and be like, "Man, I can't work. I'm still drunk from the night before." He's like, "No, I'm too hungover. Call Justin." And Justin's like, "No, I'm not working." Like it was pretty crazy because we were working like sometimes pub crawls on Friday, boat party on Saturday. It was like, yeah. But once a couple of years into it, once we started getting on a bigger boat and pretty serious, we kind of had to cut that out and take it pretty serious.
It's just dangerous when you have like unlimited drinks, alcohol around you all the time.
Yeah, I sort of even remember. I don't know if you want to go into it or not, but I remember like when Marcus. I remember hearing that like when Marcus first started the thing, that Dan was like getting wasted at the very start, nearly sabotaging what you were trying to build.
Dan went a little bit crazy.
I was loving it, and Mark's had to have a stern talking with me to kind of cut it out. But this is before the boat party when I was just working on the pub crawl. So
yeah, okay.
I basically said, mate, you're fired unless you stop drinking.
Yeah, so that worked pretty well.
And then you had to pull the reins in a little bit.
Yeah.
So how's it going in Warsaw? So there's 2 of you that have moved up there.
So Justin, which is the other Australian guy who runs the business with us, we moved up there, and we were kind of doing like 3 or 4 days in Warsaw, 3 or 4 days in Krakow for the first.
Going back and forward.
Yeah, back and forward. Yeah, because we didn't have any friends or no one in Warsaw, and we both had partners in Krakow. So like it was Thursday to Sunday in Warsaw, and the rest of the week in Krakow.
How far away is it?
It's about a 3 or 4 hour train ride. So it's not too bad.
That's still pretty bad doing it every week.
Yeah, it wasn't the best. So sometimes we'd go like 2 weeks, but yeah. But there's a lot of Australians in Warsaw, so like pretty quickly we made some friends, and they started working with us. And Justin really liked Warsaw, so he's like, okay, I'm going to live here. So I decided to move back to Krakow, and then he ended up staying in Warsaw, and he's stayed there ever since. And he runs the Warsaw boat party now.
Yeah, I'm sure it wouldn't be hard to make friends in that industry.
Yeah, exactly.
You I just forgot what I was even going to say. Anyway, but so.
But I don't think next year when we do Wrocław, which is the new city, like none of us are going to move there. We're just going to take turns in going up every weekend.
Or would you think about what he's going to hire someone else to do?
Yeah, we're going to hire someone else. Like the first year, because next year we're only doing 7 parties, so like 2 a month for the peak season, just to test it out. But then the year after, when we go full time, we'll hire a manager.
So you can do like what you did in Warsaw and just do like a couple of events and then.
Yeah, just to test it out, to get the hype going.
Yeah, okay. So did you always see it have this vision of like what he's wanted to do, or was it just sort of like blown out of proportion and sort of like surprised you guys? Because by the sounds of it, he's worked hard for it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I never really planned on. Like, I always knew I wanted to like do business and do big things, but never like this. So it's always like just one step at a time. The next opportunity that comes up, and then like you do it, and then you just go from there.
Yeah. Have you got any other future like goals or things that you want to achieve?
Well, yeah, I think Dan's like starting his marketing company.
Yeah, so since learning everything about marketing, I've decided to start my own business, and I just recently started. It's called Surge Marketing, and I've taken on a bunch of clients, and I'm trying to do that full time as well as the boat party. So anything to do with like Facebook and Google Ads, I'm doing that now as well. So that's going pretty well.
I'm probably going to need some help doing that.
Yeah, Mike, I can definitely help you, mate.
So you pretty much just like, is it like a course that you're selling, or what?
No, so like, I mean, like our magician who does the events, he also does like weddings, and he came to me and he's like I need more business. So then I started running all his campaigns for Google Ads and Facebook ads, and now he's like killing it. He's getting like bookings every couple of days for events. So.
Yeah, okay. So, but I mean, like the marketing business that you're starting, is that like a course, or are you just purely just doing the marketing for these people, or are you teaching them how to do it?
No, I'm just doing it for them. So I spend like all my free time learning online, like all the free courses, and for the boat party. And I thought like I've got these skills, so I might as well make a bit of money from it on the side.
Yeah, that's awesome, and that's good because you can sort of target anywhere in the world doing that stuff. Like obviously you can get people back in Australia if you wanted to, or the people over there, or anybody that you meet. Yeah,
that's the plan. I want to start kind of trying to get a bunch of Australian clients as well, because it's such a big market.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Have you invested in anything else, like, or is you just investing straight back into the business?
Yeah, so we've got a couple of other ideas that we want to do, and potentially next year we might be like investing in a restaurant in Warsaw. We've got like the preliminary plans and just checking that now, so that could be happening in the next few months.
What, as in investing in a restaurant that you already know, or you've?
Oh, it's like
it's a brand new restaurant.
It's a brand new restaurant, going to be like maybe a chain. A guy that one of our mates knows has opened up a lot of restaurants, and he's looking to open up a Canadian style diner.
Yeah.
And cool. He's looking for investors, so we're just like thinking about getting involved with that.
What is the main type of food over in Poland?
So it's like a lot of potatoes, a lot of meat, a lot of pork, a lot of soups.
Yeah.
A lot of sausages, big kibbutzes.
You got KFC over there?
Oh yeah, mate. Don't you worry about that.
Oh, sweet. That's good. Have you been like training and working out lately? So I was saying always, every time I see he's fluctuating, or he's either fat or skinny.
Oh well, so I've got a few health issues at the moment, so I'm on dialysis.
Yeah.
So basically, like I've got kidney disease.
Yeah.
So I have to get a kidney transplant, but So 3 times a week I have to go to hospital, and they take out all my blood and they clean it and put it back in my body.
Damn.
So it's like that's what this thing is here for. There you go.
Is Dan giving you the kidney?
No, I'm going on the waiting list.
No, I can't give him my kidney. I checked, but
so I can't exercise or do much at the moment until I've got this sort of stuff sorted.
Yeah, shit. Why? Yours fucked, Dan.
Like I've got a similar problem, but like mine's stable. So I asked the doctor. I was like, "Oh, can I give my kidney?" And he just laughed at me. He's like, "No." But
is this caused from something, or is it hereditary? Or
yeah, no, I was born with it, and then it's just like I always knew that like one day I'd have to get a kidney transplant, but I thought it'd be like when I was 60. But then it's just progressed, and then like drinking and partying and the other stuff when I was younger didn't help too much.
Yeah. So, has that affected your business at all, or your friends or anything?
I feel great now. Like I used to feel shit, but then I started dialysis. Now I feel great, so it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah.
And like we've got a great team as well, so it hasn't really like made too much of an issue with the business.
Yeah. So how many people have you got working for you now? What's the team?
So I mean, the boat party's about like 15 people. The pub crawl in Krakow is probably around the same. In Warsaw, I don't know,
5.
About 5, 10, depending like the time of the year.
Damn, how do you go managing all that? Is it a handful, or do you have people helping you out?
I mean, like it's pretty good because it's a good job. Like so, most people like most of the stuff are pretty good because it's not a hard job. You know, bartending, drinking, being a host of an event. So and you got to whip heads a bit and tell people off and that, but it's nothing too much.
Like a lot of the staff see this job as fun. Like they get to have a few drinks on the weekend and party with their friends, so they quite like it. So
yeah, we have like people who work like corporate jobs, and then they just do this as a side job. Like they work 1 night a week or 2 nights a week just for a little bit of fun.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So how do you even find these people, or is this where Dan comes in?
No, most people just on Facebook groups posting. Like over here, it's not. Everything in Poland is done on Facebook. Like they do it, they love it here.
Yeah. Okay.
Like a lot of businesses do that. You go.
I was gonna say you guys are so business savvy. Like, how did you? Is that just? You think that's just in you guys?
Oh, I always loved it since I was a kid. Like ever since I was a kid, I always like knew I wanted to be in business. And when I was younger, I always used to have like this book. They used to draw stuff and think of ideas and things, and always knew I wanted to be entrepreneurial.
What about you, Dan? Do you think if you didn't have each other, you would have got as far as you did?
Probably in a gutter somewhere.
It's hard to say, but like it's good having each other because every time, like if I've got an idea and I'll doubt myself, Marcus will like with this whole marketing thing I'm doing, I wasn't too sure about it, and Marcus kind of gave me that push, and now it's doing quite well. So it's definitely helped having a twin brother to always push you and do better.
Push you in or rein you in.
Yeah. One or the other.
I don't know if you want to dive into it or not, but have either of you had any like mental health issues that you've had to overcome, like while either starting business through COVID or just in general?
I mean, I had some issues like with my kidney stuff when the guy's like, oh, I thought I was going to die. Not die, but like I was pretty heavy, but nothing like with business and that. I mean, I've always been pretty good with stuff like that. I don't know. What about you, Dan?
I mean, yeah, I suffer from depression and I have for like quite a long time, but I think there's a lot of help out there. And when it first started, I did a lot of research and read a lot of books. And one thing that really helped me, and like I do it, like I still do it to this day, is meditate. Like I try and do it twice a day, but I do it at least once a day. And like that's like if I could give anyone advice, I think it's to meditate. It's one of the best things ever. It's changed my life.
Really?
Yeah.
That's one thing I haven't really tried that at all. I've felt like exercise has been a big thing for me.
Yeah, definitely exercise.
Yeah, I reckon because I also got to started meditating, and it's like it feels like it just takes the edge off things. Like, sometimes if you're having a hard day, you have a drink and you just feel more relaxed, and it's just like, oh, okay, it's okay now. You get that from meditation.
Yeah, it's really like as we get older, it's crazy. We've got to find these different things because drinking and doing drugs and doing that stuff are really
Not
in a
good.
loop.
Yeah.
You just go in a loop and it doesn't. You just like you're just masking things. You're not really dealing with anything. So it's
Yeah.
good that
Not facing the facts.
Yeah.
that you found that. Have you had any do you think that it's helped once you've had a kid? Do you reckon is your mental health been a lot better since then?
Oh man, like
Harder?
crazy. It's so much better. Like I was like before having Felix, I was like so worried. I was like, oh, how am I going to look after him? Like I can't even look after myself sometimes. But like after having him, it's completely changed. It's like every time like you're upset or worried or something's happened, you kind of like it doesn't even matter because you just think about your kid, and yeah, it's
Yeah.
dramatically improved my mental health having a kid, which is surprising. I thought it would be the opposite.
I remember when I saw Dan like the second or third week after he had Felix, and I was like, "You look like death. I never want to have a kid."
Yeah,
And then
that,
I was like, "Man, like you look like you haven't slept. Like you look like you're on a 10-day bender." And but then like a month later, I saw him and he looked normal again.
yeah, man. I think the first 2 months, I was like 1 hour of sleep a night was crazy, but yeah,
I think that's just what everybody goes through by the sounds of it.
yeah, it's pretty standard.
Babies don't like sleeping
Now they hate it.
when they're supposed to, or at night time. So what got you into meditating? How did you find out about that?
I think wasn't it like it was recommended on a Tim Ferriss podcast.
Yeah, so there's like a podcaster which I really like, which is where I think me and Mark have got a lot of our like business savvy from, called Tim Ferriss, and he read a book called The 4 Hour Work Week, which like helped us quite a lot. And
I've heard of that. Actually listened to one. Is that like a series of podcasts or is it just one?
he has like a series. It's really really good, and he took once he talked. He had I think it was he had an interview with someone, and they mentioned Headspace because Tim's had a bunch of mental health issues, and then I gave it a shot because there was like a free series, and you just do 10 minutes a day, and like after the first like 2 or 3 days, like I massively noticed a difference, and I was like, oh wow, this is amazing, and like I've been doing it like every day since for like 8 or 9 years.
Damn. Do you have like a place that you do it, or you just I don't know, like I've never even tried it. When I picture someone meditating, I just picture them sitting there with their legs crossed, like
No, I just sit on my couch, lie on my bed, like wherever. It doesn't really matter. And just like I use the app called Heads excuse me, an app called Headspace, and then you just plug it in, like choose which meditation you want to do, and away you go.
Do they talk to you?
Yeah, it's got you can choose if you want it to be guided or not. I prefer the guided one, and it just like guides you along start to finish. And if you're in a rush, you can do one for 3 minutes or 5 minutes.
Yeah, really. I just spoke to Dean, and he was saying that he'd done like a mushroom experience, like meditation thing, and I feel like I would love to do something like that. I reckon that would be pretty cool, and he thinks that he like benefited from a lot. And
yeah, I think that would be like because any sort of like spirituality thing where you can unlock your mind with like psychedelics mixed with meditation and guided, I think would be super beneficial.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, I'd love to do something like that. It's just not very popular in Poland, so it'd be about like finding the right environment and like the right guide and to do it safely. But yeah, I'd love to do something like that.
Sure, this is a completely different lifestyle over there. This is like a different world compared to over here.
Yeah, it's so different.
What do you think the pros and cons are of living over there? I'm sure it's been so long now, but
yeah, I mean it's hard to like. Whenever I try and think about Australia, it's just been so long. But the weather here I hate because it's so cold in the winter.
Yeah, like last night it was 5 p.m. and it was pitch black. So like when it gets into winter, it sucks.
But I mean, like the life. One of the things I miss the most from Australia is like the cafe sort of lifestyle and the food. Like you can't. There's not really like lots of breakfast cafes and coffee places here that are super nice like we have in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Or in Australia in general, and the food in Australia.
Fucking eggs.
Yeah, I just want some eggs and a hash brown and some bacon. It's not that hard.
You can't get that
They don't
here.
have that over there.
They do, but it's like not many places do, or it's not very good, or they just don't know what's up.
There's like 1,000 places near me that just have them, and like there's so from going to Melbourne to Queensland, all the breakfast places up here are so cheap. It's ridiculous. Like you can get big breakfast for like $11.
Yeah, they don't have big breakfasts here. They wouldn't know what that is.
Yeah, I remember going to London and I got a big breakfast and it had like that black pudding and shit.
Oh, disgusting.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, I miss the food. Yeah, I miss like people a little bit nicer in Australia. Like, you know, when you go to like Coles or Safeway and like someone says hi to you or asks how your day was, yeah?
Yeah.
That is unheard of here. Like, even a please or a thank you at the shop is like, oh, no thanks. Like, it's like the customer service in Poland is disgraceful.
Yeah, if you're walking down the street and say like hello to someone you don't know, like you look like you're a weirdo or like a creep. Like it's just you don't do it.
Have you guys really like taken advantage of that and like sort of like really upped your customer service game?
Yeah, well that's the thing with our like business. I think why I've been so successful is because we always like it's just a customer focus. We always put the customer first, and every decision we make, we think about how does this affect the customer, and it's like. In that respect, we don't even have to try too hard to beat a lot of the competition because the competition when it comes to customer service in Poland is so lacking. So it is a bit of a benefit to us.
Yeah, especially people that have been from somewhere else and they've seen how good it can be and then gone to somewhere and been like, fuck, this is shit. I can exploit this.
Like a lot of people when they come to Poland, they just get shocked by how bad the customer service is.
Yeah. What about how do you deal with because by the sounds of it, his work super hard. How do you go with the work-life balance?
It's a bit hard to turn it off sometimes, and my partner, she always gets a little bit annoyed at me because I'm always like checking my phone or like doing an email or something. So I always have to like make a conscious effort to remind myself that when I'm with Kinga, to just not use my phone and like be present. So. But now that we have someone running the boat party for us, and I also have someone running the crawl, it's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Because we're not so focused on the day-to-day running of things, but it's just always just trying to sort of mentally tell myself like, focus on the task that I'm doing. Don't worry about work.
What about you now with having a kid now and stuff, Dan?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same issue. Like. I have a rule now whenever I'm looking after Felix or like I try and just put my phone in the other room because otherwise I'm like doing the same as Mike's, checking an email, checking on sales. So, but yeah, it's a bit easier for me as well because I live like in a little village and away from Krakow, so I can kind of disconnect from work quite easy.
Is it quite easy to get stuck at just looking at the ticket sales and stuff like that?
Oh, there's always something to do. Like there's like a million things we could do. So it's like, oh, I'll just do this and then I'll just do that. And next minute it's like, you know, you're not spending time with your missus watching the movie together.
Yeah, fair enough. So what do you think has been the biggest learning curve that you've had since starting this? Like, what's one of the biggest things that you've learned?
That's a good question.
I know everything. Made so many mistakes.
Yeah, we've made so many mistakes along the way.
Probably like one of the biggest mistakes I reckon was probably like the first year or maybe the second year of the boat party. It like took off, like really started going crazy, but we didn't budget it too well, so we were spending like crazy, and we get a lot of our ticket sales like months in advance. So we got to the end of the year and we basically had no money to pay anyone. So that was a little bit of because we were like just spending money like crazy, not budgeting properly. So that was a little bit of a shock to the system.
What's the thought process and how are you feeling? What are you doing when something like that happens? Like must be so scary being like putting all your eggs in one basket and then just like sort of not failing, but
it wasn't fail. So it was a bit of like a like, okay, you need to take this seriously and actually budget properly and do this seriously, not just spend money like crazy and sort of be a bit careless, because if the ticket sales don't keep coming in, you're screwed. So you need to a little bit more organized. And it was a little bit of a wake up call to all three of us, because we were all just like spending money like crazy without actually thinking about the future of the business.
Yeah, but were you spending as in
we were just paying ourselves more than we should have.
Yeah, and not investing back in the business, or
because we get all our events are sold out, so they people book tickets like 3 or 4 months in advance. So we were having all this income coming into a bank account, and we were paying ourselves double or triple what we should. So then we got to the end of the year, and the ticket sales dried up, but we still had the events coming on. So the bank balance was going down, but the ticket sales weren't coming in.
What did you do when you didn't have the money to pay people?
Well, we just took a loan to pay everything and put our own money. We took a loan for some stuff, but then we had our own savings, so we just put our savings back into the business to pay for everything, and then we started budgeting correctly.
And we only had a 3 or 4 month gap until the next season. So once the next season started, we just paid everything back, and then for the next year budgeted properly, so it didn't happen again.
So he's obviously fully invested in yourself. It was either make it or bust, pretty much.
Yeah, we had to put all our savings back into business, but our savings were just the money that we shouldn't have paid ourselves anyway. So
yeah.
Did you just have a conversation about that? Were you ever thinking about maybe quitting, or?
No, we never wanted to quit. It was just frustrating because we worked so hard and spent so much money, but then at the end of it, we didn't have anything to show for it. We still had a business that was making money, but we didn't actually have anything in our hands to show for it, which was a little bit frustrating. But I mean,
it was a great lesson. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's all part of it.
Yeah.
If you didn't make those mistakes, you probably wouldn't be where you are today.
I mean, it's better to do it then when it wasn't as busy as it is now, and so, or like lucky it didn't happen before COVID, and then we wouldn't have had any more money coming in.
Yeah. So what do you do in the off season?
So the pub crawl still runs all year, and there's always like things to do. We do a lot of like content writing.
And although the boat party season is over now, we've still got a few private parties, like staff parties, Christmas parties, just like small
corporate events.
We do a lot of corporate events as well, so we've got one next weekend as well. And right now we're doing a lot of planning for Wrocław for next season.
Yeah.
So getting the website ready and making sure everything's in place.
What do you mean by like corporate events?
It's like businesses like rent out the boat, and they'll have like a 5-hour party with like catering and drinks and a few different things.
So it might be like a staff integration event, like a staff party, or it could be like someone trying to impress clients coming, anything to do with like a business.
Okay. Do they sometimes want you to like put on a little bit more than just the average boat party?
Yeah, it's usually like nice alcohol, cocktails, catering, like less more party, more like event kind of thing.
Yeah, that was one thing we learned as well, because the first few corporate events we kind of had the same as our normal party, and then we learned very quickly that the corporate events want something a little bit different. They don't want the party guides and not so keen on that.
Yeah. Okay. So did you have any bad experiences? Or bad reviews?
Yeah, we've had like bad reviews in the past, but like you learn from it. Like nothing too major that we've done, because we always try and take in anything the guest says. But sometimes people expect more than what there is. Like, oh, there was no cocktails for the public, or like we wanted 3 hours, or it was too short, it was too long. You just can't please everyone.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you ask them at the end of it? Like how obviously.
People just sometimes leave a review on Google or TripAdvisor, so
yeah, okay.
We just see. We ask people for reviews if they've had a good time, but most people, they only leave a review if they've had a bad time, which is quite frustrating.
That is annoying. That is annoying, because like that's so true that mainly all the people that are riding there are like usually like Karens.
Yeah, like, exactly. Like 150 people have a great time, they don't leave a review. Then one person has a bad time, and they leave a bad review. Or like people, the boat leaves at 8 p.m. and people get there at 8:10 and they complain. But it's like, you knew it was 8 p.m. You know, you're not going to leave a bad review for a plane if you missed a plane.
Yeah. That's just part of it, though, I guess.
Yeah, it's just part of it. I mean, like sometimes we get good feedback and we've learned from things, but yeah.
Yeah. So how did you meet the other business part of Justin? How did that come about? How did you guys decide who was going to go to Warsaw and who was going to?
I think
stay?
I actually met Justin. I was traveling around. I was in Latvia on a pub crawl, and some guy started yelling out to me, like, he's like, Markus, and I was like, no, I'm Daniel. He's like, oh, I was just traveling in Krakow, and I met some guy who was the same as you. Like, I thought you were him, and I was like, no, that's my twin brother. And like, it turns out he was just in Krakow a few I think days or weeks before, and met Markus, and then I met him on a pub crawl, and then I think he was going back to Krakow, and I was going back to Krakow, and then yeah,
we just hit it off, became good mates.
Yeah, just like got on like really well, and we were all staying in Krakow. And when we wanted to register our business, we needed someone who was a European citizen, and at the time, me and Markus didn't have the correct documents, so we asked Justin to like come into the boat party and do it with us, and he was really keen. He had a lot of good ideas, and then that's how the three of us kind of joined up and started doing the boat party together.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you have any troubles? Because starting a business in a different country, you guys being obviously Australian, is there any difficulties in that?
No, not too many difficulties because we've both got our German citizenship. So because of the EU, you can start a business anywhere in the EU. So it was okay, yeah.
Yes. Did you have any funny incidents where people were mistaking you guys over there?
Oh yeah, like when I first came to Krakow, Markus had already been there for a few months, and like he was running the pub crawl, so like all like the doormen, all the security, like the bartenders, they all knew Markus, and they had no idea he had a twin brother. So like I'd be out on having a few drinks, and be like, Markus, and I'd go up to him and I'd try and explain like, no, Daniel, and they would just like look at me like, what's Markus talking about? Like are you okay, Markus? Like, and it was like it took like sometimes it would be like 4 or 5 months. And people still didn't realize until me and Markus went there together, and they're like, "Oh, like that's what you were talking about."
Yeah, especially drunk people.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what's this drunk Australian talking about? Like,
that's still so good. That the driver's license thing always gets me. I like always think about that when I think about you guys. I'm like, what things would I do if I had a twin brother? What things could I fuck the system with?
Yeah, it's like I remember once we were at the casino in Warsaw, and because you have to have your passport in Warsaw.
Yeah.
Like in Poland, you have to have your passport or your ID. So I remember
to get into pubs and stuff.
Wait, I think.
Wait, you were there?
You were there actually in Warsaw. Remember?
When I didn't get let in?
Dan didn't get let in and then I had to leave with my passport, give it to him, and then they kicked us out later.
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah. Yeah. And the security came and goes, you two, and he goes, no, one ID, get out.
Yeah. I wouldn't pick up on that.
Yeah.
Good damn cunt. Right. So what's pretty much the end goal for you guys?
I don't know. I don't really have an end goal.
I don't have an end goal either. I mean, I'd like to get the businesses to a point where I can spend more time with my family, but like even then, I still want to be involved because like I love doing it. Like it's so like running a business and like growing a business. It's like so enjoyable. So
It's so rewarding. I don't think I ever want to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've just been hustling for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, there's always like so many ideas and things and opportunities to do. So it's like I just want to keep going, and maybe then eventually, when I can help other people do the same thing.
And there's just like there's so many opportunities in Poland because like the boat party for a lot of Polish people, like they're so shocked and so amazed, like, oh my god, boat party is such a good idea. Like whereas in Australia, like a boat party, it's like, oh yeah, there's so many like those kind of events. So there's a lot
of businesses here that can be opened that aren't here. So there's so many things that can be done.
Like in my kind of town village, like there's a new cafe that opened, and it's kind of like a hipster kind of cafe. And like it's like if that was in Australia, it would be like a pretty standard kind of cafe. But like here, it's like people are going crazy for it. They're loving it. It's always busy. So it's just like, yeah.
It's like you guys are like living in the past.
It feels like that sometimes.
Yeah.
What other ideas do you have besides the restaurant and stuff? You've got other stuff in the near future that you'd be thinking about?
In the near future, it's mostly just the boat party, but I mean, we want to do something like a holy moly sort of thing here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a mini golf bar, something like that.
Is it possible to grow the boat party any bigger?
Yeah, there's one other city, plus there's another city we might go into, which is up the north in Poland, which is like on the Baltic, called Gdansk, which is a possibility. But we want to move into other like more brick and mortar things like restaurants and bars, because the boat party is once a week and it's one day. And like the rent you pay for a boat party for 4 nights is the same as you can pay for a restaurant for the whole month.
Oh,
like so
would you bring some Australian or like American style like food over there? Like
that's the plan.
Yeah, definitely. That's what we want to do.
That's what we want to do. Like it's just what will work.
Bring the chicken parma over there.
Yeah, like there was a guy here who opened up like a pie shop. It was called Charlie's Pies. It was like meat pies and sausage rolls.
Yeah.
And it didn't do too well here. So it's just thinking about the right thing and doing it properly. So, but there's so many good things in Australia that whenever I go back to Australia, I see something, I'm like, wow, that would be so good in Poland. But it's also about finding the right people to do it with, and is it even cost effective?
Yeah.
Just things that work in Australia. Yeah, chicken parma is just an Italian. Like if you do that here, people would just call that an Italian dish. It's just Italian food.
Yeah, but they don't make it over there, do they?
Yeah, the chicken parma is a thing, but it's just a little bit different.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'd be in there every day.
What dishes are you hanging for when you come back to Australia?
Chicken parma and some
big breakfast and chicken parma
and fish and chips, some dim sims, schnitzel roll.
I'm coming back in March, and I've already started putting a list together of all the things I want to get as soon as I get off the plane. Definitely a big M and a sausage roll is one thing I'm looking forward to.
Well, they got no chocolate milk over there.
It's not very good.
Not like in Australia. Iced coffees aren't too big here either.
Yeah, well, I don't drink coffee, so I care about that.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I really like the ideas that these are bringing. By the sounds of it, there's a lot of opportunity over there to start businesses, and you obviously got the right mind and the right ideas to do it. And like obviously, I'm excited to see what you're going to be doing over the next 10 to 20 years, man.
Yeah, you got to come over again.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. It's been really good catching up and talking about it.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah, thanks heaps for doing this with me, guys. And like, obviously, the sooner the better to see you guys.
Yeah, sounds good, mate. It's been a pleasure.
Cheers, mate. Thanks so much.